Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is another Vanners collaboration video.
Yeah, and I will play the logos of all the other channels on the screen now. So this month's subject is full-time living in the van versus using it for holidays. It's quite a hard video for us to do, or it seemed quite hard for us to do. Having gone through the list, I think you'll quite quickly work out that living in it full-time is probably not for us. So we're going to go through the reasons why we would or could live in the van full time, and then we're going to go through the reasons why we couldn't or wouldn't live in the van full time. You will probably notice that some of our reasons contradict each other, so I'll give you an example. One of them is that it would be quite a minimalistic way to live, where we don't really sort of like, have too much belongings, no clutter and that sort of stuff. However, on the negative side, our house is full of stuff. We have so much stuff at home that I just don't know how we would be able to downsize to a caravan. So first of all, we will go through the reasons why we think we would be able to live full time.
In terms of the heating in the caravan, okay, it takes a little while sometimes to heat up if it's been stood for a while, but it's then just so warm, and it's actually better than our heating at home. If you turn it off, it does sort of let the heat go quite quickly, but that low and constant is just perfect.
It's so much better than at home, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And then another thing would be that actually it doesn't take very much to clean, so hoover, dusting, keeping things clean, etc. If you've got a site that's got facility block, then you don't really need to clean your shower constantly all the time because you're not using it. So yeah, cleaning would obviously be a lot less than having to clean the house at home.
You can clean the lounge, the bathroom, the bedroom just in one wipe, one continuous wipe. Another reason that we would probably love it is because we could move around, and even if you're on a site for a year and then you move, it's still more often than realistically you'd be able to move house. So when we initially wrote down our thoughts, the last thing that we had on the positive side was just that we absolutely love being in the caravan. We just love being in it. However, we have now some more ideas. We're at Swiss Farm in Henley. We were sat having a drink yesterday with three guys that actually live on the site. They did offer to be in the video, didn't they? But they gave us some sort of good insight into what sort of living full time in their vans, and they live in caravans, is like. So I guess the community feel was very apparent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They did invite us down to Wetherspoons in Henley last night, but we obviously had the dog with us. Yeah, there's definitely a community feel amongst the people that live
especially
on the
when
site.
you hit on a touring site, and summer's a little bit different, there's more people around, but on the winter when it tends to just be them, especially with having the place to go and eat.
Yeah,
and
they
drink.
said at Christmas the staff really made a fuss of them and did a Christmas dinner and that sort of stuff, and I think it's nice when the staff sort of recognise who's here all the time and that sort of thing.
They also talked about the finance kind of side of it, and said how it's much cheaper in terms of electricity, gas, obviously rent as well in terms of the pitch price. Talks about how it would be much cheaper than even just having a room without an ensuite or
especially
something.
Where we are. Yeah, we're in Henley on Thames, and it's a very expensive area, and to be sort of like actually out of the town and in, you probably can't see it, but in sort of beautiful countryside, for the price that they're paying is a little slice of luxury.
Reasonable.
So on to the reasons why we couldn't or wouldn't want to live in the caravan full time, and apart from obviously we spoke about at the beginning us having too many belongings.
We've talked about how it could be, or the caravan can get uncomfortable sometimes, especially when you're in it for longer periods of time. The bed, obviously, it's just the double-sized bed, and it's rounded. Then the sofas, although they're great, sometimes it's not like being on the sofa at home. And then obviously when you're eating, especially during the winter months, it's eating in here, and this pulls out, but it doesn't really give you that table.
No, it's not like sitting at a table, is it? No, it's, I'd say 2 weeks is probably about the maximum that you'd want to be in it, and absolutely dream for a weekend. We've been away, where we go away for a week, it's fine, but, any more than 2 weeks, and I think then you sort of, when you go home, you quite enjoy the space. Yeah. So the other thing is our furry little friend down here, and when he wants to go to the toilet. So don't get me wrong, the dog absolutely loves this. Every time he wants to go out for a wee, it's a walk, and he loves it. We like it on the most part. It's just when it's raining, when it's that sort of like, you know, last thing before bed, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
At home, we would just come down, open the door, let him go out and run around in the rain for a bit, and then come back in. But we have to go out with him here, so that's a bit of a negative.
Obviously the caravan is a lot smaller than our house, and actually if it is just constantly raining, it's treading on each other's toes or not having that much more space to sort of stretch your legs and things like that.
So this one is dependent on the type of site that you would be situated on, but obviously there's things like the toilet, the fresh water, the wastewater that you just have to sort of be topping up and changing and that sort of thing. Obviously at home you don't have to do that.
And then in terms of washing up, obviously the kitchen area isn't that big in the caravan, and it does limit you when you've got a little bit of washing up. You might be using the hob at the same time. It's like, where do you put everything? So it can be quite difficult to get things round. One of the other things is the size of the shower and the shower itself. Obviously there's not as much hot water in the tank or that constant feed like the house. When I'm washing my hair, for example, I'll wet it, turn it off, shampoo, turn it back on, wash it out, and then so on and so on.
And that has a name. That's a caravan shower.
That's a caravan shower, yeah. Just to preserve the hot water, obviously. I don't want to, my hair's quite long, don't want to be halfway through and turn freezing cold all of a sudden.
And the other thing, and again depends on the site, but the other thing is the washing and drying of clothes, and probably the storage of clothes, especially for this one.
I don't know what you mean.
So another negative for us is that we own a touring caravan, and we would want to tour. We want to be, you know, sort of going to, even if we go to the same site, we want to go on a different pitch and have a different view each time.
And obviously bringing content to you guys as well. We like to go around, we like to review sites, give you a guided tour of sites as well, and just go somewhere new, somewhere different.
We associate the caravan with holidays, with being off work. It's just associated to a nice time. If we lived in the caravan and we were going off every day to work, I think we'd lose that feel. We would then associate it to being at home rather than on holiday. Lastly,
the round by us there aren't very many winter caravan sites that would have decent pitches for us to be able to stay on. And also it would then mean that it would obviously make our commutes to work a lot longer than they already are. Thank you for watching this video.
Thank you very much for watching this video too. Make sure you check out the everyone else in the collaborations videos. There will be a link to them in the description below. Please make sure you like, comment, and if you haven't already done so, hit the
subscribe button.
Alright, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you
in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.